Hello, everyone. This is Jerry. I'm a 27-year-old adult with autism, and this recent news story has been brought to my attention about someone who sent a letter to the parents of a 13-year-old autistic child, urging them to either move or have him euthanized because she doesn't like the noises he makes when he plays outside. Yes, you unfortunately heard that one right. I have a link to the story in the description of this video if you haven't heard about it already. Now, this unfortunate situation reminded me of a very common problem that individuals and their families deal with, and it's when someone with autism has a meltdown, more particularly other people's reactions to these meltdowns. Now, a lot of people are understandably annoyed. I mean, nobody wants to hear a kid screaming so loud they could wake the dead. But some people take that frustration, they get a bit judgmental and make some assumptions that aren't entirely accurate. Now, most of them don't go quite as far as that woman did by writing that letter, but it seems from the same exact, it stems from the same misunderstanding, and that's why autistic children, even some autistic adults, have severe meltdowns, and why I made this video. And as we go about our day-to-day lives, we process a lot of sensory information: sound, touch, taste, sight, in many cases utilizing multiple different senses at once. Now, most people are able to do this fairly easily and tend to take it for granted, but individuals with autism, the particular part of the brain that processes this information and is able to filter out what information is necessary and what is not, doesn't work properly. And because of this, they have difficulty processing it, and as a result can have mild or even severe sensitivities to certain sensations. Now, these sensitivities often cause people with autism to reach a point of sensory overload, which can be very unpleasant or, in some cases, even painful. Now, when I was first diagnosed, I had severe sensitivities to touch and sound. Even the simplest act of my parents trying to hold me would be so painful that I would violently lash out. My hearing was so sensitive that a toilet flushing, something like that, would have me literally screaming in agony. Now, I think it's safe to say that my touch sensitivity is pretty much gone, but though my sensitivity to sound has improved greatly, it's still pretty much there. I still hate crowds and loud noises, but can deal with them and tolerate them much, much better than I used to, thanks to years of therapies and interventions, but can still get overloaded. I mean, my mom took me to this, I think it was food fair or farmer's market or something a few months back, and I was doing okay at first, but with all the different food choices, the crowds and noises, and me not having nearly enough money on me to get everything I wanted, which was literally everything, I became overwhelmed and knew I needed to get out of there immediately. I felt like a dog who had a steak waved in front of him and then snatched away. Not a pleasant feeling, ladies and gents. Also, a lot of people with autism have difficulties with language and communication, which can make telling others what's bothering them extremely difficult. I lost what little language I had at age 2 and gained it back at age 5, and the only way I could communicate at the time was with violent temper tantrums. Now, I don't know what the child in question's language skills are, but it can be a challenge even for individuals with autism that can speak to express their emotions in an appropriate manner. Now, it wasn't until my senior year of high school, for example, that I finally got control of my temper. Simply put, what people need to understand is that just because a kid is screaming their head off doesn't always mean the parents have screwed up or it's just some spoiled brat mouthing off. It could be someone with autism on overload.